partners to steer Nigeria's economy towards sustained growth and stability. The president made the call during the 30th Nigerian Economic Summit held in Abuja. Represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, the president highlighted the positive impact of the reforms undertaken by his administration, which he said were designed to diversify Nigeria's economy and reduce its over-reliance on oil revenues. The Nigerian Economic Summit serves as a crucial platform for fostering dialogue and driving economic policy recommendations. The federal government has appointed the Pro-Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, Dr. Mahmood Ahmed, as the chairman of the 2009 Federal Government Renegotiation Committee with university-based staff. The inauguration of the committee, which is the fourth in 7 years, took place in Abuja. It reported that the federal government would inaugurate the fourth renegotiation committee to discuss the demands of the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The federal government has dismissed reports claiming that the United Kingdom endorsed a petition submitted by Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho. The petition, which called on the United Kingdom government to consider the creation of a Yoruba nation, was submitted at 10 Downing Street, London, last week. In a statement, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Eche Abu Obe, described media reports surrounding the petition as highly misleading. Abu Obe clarified that the UK had no official involvement or endorsement of the documents. A petrol tanker has exploded at the Majiya town, Tura local government area of Jigawa State in devastating incident leading to the loss of lives of over 90 people, with 50 others hospitalized. The explosion occurred around 12:30 a.m. when the driver of the tanker traveling from Kano to Nguru in Yobe State lost control near Khadija University, Majiya. Police Public Relations Officer of Jigawa State Command, DSP Lawan Adam, says the disaster was triggered by residents who had rushed to collect split petrol after the tanker overturned. DSP Adam disclosed that the authorities have commenced a mass burial for the victims, with the entire community mourning the loss. National Youth Service Corps NYSC Director General Brigadier General Joshua Ahmed says the scheme is strategically placed to collaborate with the National Center for the Control of Arms and Light Weapons towards the effective sensitization against the rising tide in the transnational movement of illegal arms and weapons within the Nigerian geographical space. The Director General stated these in his response to the request made by the Director General of the Center, retired Deputy Inspector General of Police, Johnson Kokomu. General Ahmed said with an annual average of mobilization of over 380,000 Nigerian graduate youths and deployment of the same to every nook and cranny of the country, the scheme's capacity in this regard is certain. Governors elected on the platform of the main opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) have notified the suspension of the acting national chairman of the party, Iliya Damagu. The governors have also nullified the suspension of the National Publicity Secretary and the National Legal Advisor, Kamadin Ajibade, the senior advocate of Nigeria. For some time now, the traditional medicine practice has continued to gain acceptability in many parts of Nigeria. Although some argue that the practice is often counterproductive, practitioners are recording increased patronage on a daily basis. From Kano, Global Television correspondent Idris Jibril reports on how women queue in for herbal medicine.
For several months, Habiba Sani has been suffering from menstrual problem leading to a frequent abdominal pain. Despite her repeated visits to the hospital, her problem still persists. But with the help of this traditional physician, Habiba is now free. So many people came here on daily basis, especially women and children, and we give them medicine, and by the grace of God, they used to recover from their sickness. Musa Kau is an itinerant barber, otherwise known as Wanzami among the Hausa people. He specializes in offering traditional health assistance to mostly women and children. It's a practice Musa inherited from his mother. This is a practice I inherited from my mother, and my mother inherited it from her own mother. So it's a practice that we have been doing all along. Although believed to be effective by many, especially these women who queue in here on daily basis, but conventional health practitioners argued that the practice is a double-edged sword.
The way the traditional medicine used to be given to people, the dosage, the strength, the traditional medicine doesn't specify dosage and strength of the drugs the way our own English medicine is.
But not for people like Musa, who believes that with strict supervision and regulations by government authorities, traditional health practice can significantly reduce the burden and pressure on conventional healthcare institutions across the country. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, reporting for Global Television News.
Justice Yusuf Halilu of the Federal Capital Territory High Court sitting in Jabi, Abuja, has issued an interim order against the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, restraining them from arresting or detaining a former Minister of Defense, Lawa Batawagarawa, over a land dispute matter. The court also restrained the commission and its agent, Previs, and any other person acting on their behalf from inviting, harassing, intimidating, or otherwise threatening Bata Garawa, pending further proceedings. The order was made following allegations that Bata Garawa had been subjected to undue harassment by the anti-graft agency. Justice Halilu also ordered substituted service of the originating process and other legal documents on the EFCC and other respondents in the suits. The outgoing chairman of Kaduna North Local Government Area, Mukhtar Baloni, has emphasized the crucial role of the internally generated revenue in the success of local government administrations, particularly in urban areas. At his end-of-tenure presentation titled Achievements, Challenges and Recommendations held at the Council Secretariat in Kaduna, Baloni stressed that IGR helped supplement shortfalls when federal funds were insufficient, enabling the council to execute meaningful projects for the community. Indigo dyeing is an ancient tradition in the northern Nigerian city of Kano. However, a dwindling number of customers and cheap imitations are threatening the century-old industry. Many dye sites have shut down, and those still operating have seen both their production and incomes cut by more than 70%. In this special report, Global Television correspondent Idris Jibril visited the Kanu's 500-year-old dye pits and now reports.
For half a century, indigo dyeing is all Dang Asabe Abubakar has known. It's a trade that has been passed down from one generation in the family to another. But in the last decade, he and others in Kanu dye pit have watched helplessly as the business struggled and incomes disappeared. Well, there are so many challenges. As you can see, there are so many pits operating here, but today we have only a few of them. But low patronage is not the only threat to these people. Clothes making technology have changed over time, but not at these dye pits here in Kano. The ingredient and skills used in 1498 still remain the same today. Just 2 decades ago, there were 148 dye pits here. Now only 14 remain. The dumping of chemically treated fabric here, like in most African markets, is a major source of concern for local producers.
So since during the Obasanjo region, Obasanjo has given Chinese allowed to come to Nigeria to take our own work to send to China. The Chinese product after Chinese people producing our own product here in Nigeria from China to send it back here and sell it in the Kantun Quarry market. So that is our problem we are facing since 2003.
Many buyers prefer 100% organic indigo dyeing, but with fewer tourists coming and exports slowing down, producers are struggling to convince local to buy from them.
Now we are in bad situation of our economy in Nigeria. So Nigerian people, I'm calling them to come and join hand in this to saving Nigeria in this problem.
There is widespread concerns here that soon, even the few pits that remain will also have to close down, bringing to an end a more than 500 years of history. From Kano, Idris Jubrin, reporting for Global Television News.
The federal government says the petition by Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, calling on the United Kingdom to consider the Yoruba Nation was not endorsed by the UK government. The spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Eche Ebu-Obe, in a statement in Abuja, says the media reports on the petition were highly misleading. He explained that following the media report on the petition submitted at number 10 Downing Street by Sunday Adeyemo, the British High Commissioner in Abuja was invited to shed light on the issue. During the meeting, the High Commissioner noted with concern that the matter was overblown, indicating that the media reports were highly misleading. You're watching the Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When Midday News returns, England national football team names new manager. Details of these and more shortly. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. This is Global Television, bringing you live broadcasts of Midday News. Thank you for staying with us. In business, the Naira has listed among the worst performing currencies in sub-Saharan Africa in 2024. This is according to the latest edition of Africa's Pulse, a new report by the World Bank. As of the end of August 2024, the Naira had depreciated by approximately 43% year to date, making it one of the region's weakest currencies alongside the Ethiopian birr and South Sudanese pound. The depreciation of the Naira is attributed to several factors, including surging demands for United States dollars in the parallel market, limited dollar inflows, and delays in foreign exchange disbursement by Nigeria's central bank. The federal government, through the Transmission Company of Nigeria, says it would investigate the cause of the multiple power grid collapses that occurred on Monday and Tuesday this week. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, says there was no such thing as grid collapse but a trip-off. The Transmission Company of Nigeria says the national grid experienced what it called a partial disturbance on Monday, noting that efforts to fully recover the grid were still ongoing. Nigeria's headline inflation rate for September 2024 rose to 32.70% after slowing consecutively in the previous 2 months of July and August. This was according to the latest Consumer Price Index report from the National Bureau of Statistics. It is a marginal increase of 0.55% from the August 2024 figure of 32.15%, reflecting ongoing price pressures across the country. Year-on-year, inflation has surged by 5.98% points compared to 26.70% recorded in September 2023. On the foreign scene, the Israel Defense Forces have confirmed that they have hit Nabatea in southern Lebanon. 5 people were killed by airstrikes, including the city mayor. The targets included terrorist infrastructure sites, Hezbollah command centers, and weapons storage facility, which were embedded by Hezbollah adjacent to civilian infrastructure, exploiting the civilian population as a human shield. In the meantime, the United States has written to Israel giving it 30 days to boost humanitarian aid access in Gaza or risk having some U.S. military assistance cut off. The letter sent amounts to the strongest known written warning from the U.S. to its ally and comes amid a new Israeli offensive in northern Gaza that has reportedly caused a large number of civilian casualties. It says the U.S. has deep concerns about the deteriorating humanitarian situation, adding that Israel denied or impeded nearly 90% of humanitarian movement between the north and south last month. And diving into the world of sports, the Confederation of African Football has delisted the Group D second leg fixture of the ongoing 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifier between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Mediterranean Knights of Libya. The game was earlier scheduled to take place in Libya by 8 p.m. after the first leg took place in Godswill Akpabio Stadium, Uyo. The Super Eagles beat the Mediterranean Knights by a lone goal in the dying minute of the game. However, the return leg has been greeted with controversy after the Super Eagles players and officials narrated their over 14 hours ordeal at the Libyan airport, leading them to return home. Thomas Tuchel has been named England's new manager, with the German set to start on January 1st, 2025. English Football Association says Tuchel will be assisted by internationally renowned English coach Anthony Barry.